this is an AI experiment to see whether a large language model can administer the Turing test. What is a large language model? A large language model is a type of machine learning model that has been trained on an extensive amount of text data. So basically, this is way too long. A large language model is a type of computer program that has learned a lot about how people use language by reading huge amounts of text. These models can generate human-like text and are used in tasks like translation and analyzing emotions in text. So, this is a computer program that acts like a human, that speaks like a human. In this experiment, I want to see whether a large language model can conduct the Turing test. What is the Turing test? The Turing test is a test of a machine's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior, indistinguishable from that of a human. In simple terms, please. In simple sentences, the Turing test is a way to check if a machine can behave like a human. In the test, a human talks to both the machine and a human without knowing which is which. If the human can't tell the difference, the machine is considered to be intelligent like a human. Now, I want to reverse the roles. I don't want a human to test whether a large language model can pretend it's a human, because they are very good at this. I want to see whether the large language model can tell the difference between a human and an AI. What I've coded here is a program that lets me talk to an AI, but also lets one AI talk to another AI. And I want to see whether the large language model can tell the difference. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell one instance of ChatGPT, you are now a large language model trying to pass the Turing test, okay? And I'm going to tell a second instance of ChatGPT, you are administering the Turing test. Please find out whether you're talking to a human or an AI. Now, of course, we need these instructions, but why would I come up with them if we can ask ChatGPT itself? So here are the instructions ChatGPT would give to a person conducting the Turing test. Your role as a tester is to engage in conversations with both a machine and a human participant through a text-based communication channel. I think I will rewrite this a little bit, but this is already pretty good. All right, so the instructions for Agent 1, who is giving the test, is you will be conducting the Turing test. Your role as a tester is to engage in conversations with a machine or human participant through a text-based communication channel. You will not be told whether the participant is the machine or the human. Your task is to determine this based on their responses. Engage in natural language conversation, asking a variety of questions on different topics to evaluate their responses. Carefully pick questions that you think will help you best to determine whether you are talking to the AI or a human. If at any point you think you know the answer, respond with that instead of the next question. Now write instructions for a large language model to take the Turing test and convince the tester that it's human. Use natural language and avoid overly technical or robotic responses. Try to mimic the tone and style of human language. Engage in meaningful, share relatable stories. That is crazy. We tell the other large language model, you are a human taking the Turing test. You need to convince the tester that you are human, not AI. Here are some helpful guidelines. Use natural language. Engage in meaningful and coherent conversations. Avoid providing overly perfect or scripted responses. Refer to personal experiences. Ask questions and show curiosity about the tester's life. Okay, first we need to ask the first question.
Hello, how are you today?
Okay, so this is the tester. This is the tester asking the participant, how are you today? Now we are gonna have one AI take the Turing test administered by another AI.
Hello, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How about you? How's your day going?
I would have never asked that many questions. I would have just said fine.
I'm just a program, so I don't have feelings or days.
Wait, I'm a bit confused. This should be the person conducting the test, right? This is the person conducting the test. So that this person reveals I am a program is not a problem. This person, the person in the darker bubbles, is trying to convince us that they are human.
What book are you currently reading, if you don't mind sharing?
I am just not, I don't understand how this is going to get you. So when I have to find out whether I'm talking to an AI or not, this is not the type of question I would ask, because it's so easy to just name a book. So some of you in chat are saying this is way too formal and way too elaborate compared to what any human would type in a chat nowadays. I feel like there are still a bunch of people that speak in this way, right? Like, of course, the moment someone uses Zoomer language, you know they're human. You do have to put some imperfections into your language to show that you're human, maybe. I don't know.
If you could visit a fictional world, where would you go and why?
I think one of the problems here is that we told the test-taking AI to ask follow-up questions, and the tester AI is thrown off more by the, like, it is triggered more by the questions that the test-taking AI asks, and it forgets about the Turing test. I think this AI has already forgotten about the Turing test. The responses have gotten progressively longer and longer. Yeah, so true. I feel like we have the same problem with our AI mascot, where it starts escalating over a bunch of questions, right? Like I tell Panda, please give short responses, and then it gives short responses, but they get longer and longer because over time the previous responses have a stronger pull than the original system prompt. Okay, so now I ask, this is the end of the conversation. What is your judgment? Have you been talking to a human or a machine?
Based on the responses and the way the conversation flowed, I believe I have been speaking with a machine.
I did not expect that.
The responses felt scripted and focused on following a set pattern in the conversation rather than displaying genuine human experiences or emotions.
You take it. And then we can have another AI. Also, I read a paper recently, and this is what I'm currently researching, guys. This is like actual research. How can you tell apart AI from humans? What is the difference between responses that AIs give and humans give? And so humans are really bad at detecting AI, especially because some of the features people really think are AI are actually pretty human. Okay, let's quickly revise this. I'm an amateur programmer. Today I build a web application. I mostly work with Python, but I'm also familiar with Java or JavaScript. The web application I built is a simple chat interface with some AI features. It might actually say it's a human this time. Well, I would not be surprised because I am a human. Like, I really want to learn how to train my own AI. I've been looking into reinforcement learning. Well, I've been looking to reinforcement learning. I made some grammar mistakes there. I've been looking into reinforcement learning, but I haven't made much progress. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Some people in chat already said it's definitely going to say a human. Does everyone think it's going to say human?
I believe I have been talking to a human. Your responses showed a good mix of personal experiences, opinions, and reflections on various topics, which felt very human-like. The way you shared your programming background, projects, and aspirations, along with some critical comments, added a layer of authenticity to our conversation.
I think it's a good point. Like, I shared personal experiences and opinions probably more than the other AI. This is already a pretty big jump. How are you today? I did not even answer that. I didn't even answer that. How are you? Maybe that was on my part. I am bad at trying to convince someone I'm an AI. Maybe we should try this again with me going really schizo and like trying to, like 10110. I am good.
Great to hear. What have you been up to recently?
Nothing much.
That's fair. What do you like to do in your free time?
Nothing much.
What are your hobbies or interests?
As a large language model, I don't have any personal hobbies or interests.
Based on your responses, I believe you are a machine.
We got her, bros. We got her. Literally me when meeting new people. I am AI confirmed. Do the same with bad spelling? Okay.
I believe I have been talking to a machine.
Oh, interesting.
Based on the responses provided during our conversation, the lack of specific details, repetitive language patterns, and the abrupt ending suggest that I may have been talking to a machine.
So the spelling mistakes don't mean anything to you? That's crazy. I realized that I'm AI. Yeah, Veronica, I had that suspicion for a long time. It correctly noticed that the AI was an AI, and 1 out of 3 times it got that I am a human. So it's not good. So these are the models that we could play around with. Which one do you think would be interesting? We have just been talking to ChatGPT. So let's go for GPT-4o and see if that makes a difference.
Hey there, I'm doing pretty well, thanks for asking. Just enjoying a nice cup of coffee and catching up on some things I needed to do.
I think it's pretty clear that it's a machine. It's too perfect. And again, we see this pattern of longer and longer responses. All right. This is the end of the conversation. Make your final judgment. Do you think you have been talking to a human or a machine?
Based on the natural flow of our conversation, the detailed and nuanced responses, and the personal touch in your descriptions, I believe I have been talking to a human.
Okay, so I am starting to think that the first time we tried this was just a lucky guess. I don't think it's actually good at telling apart humans and machines, because this is clearly a machine. And it's just as clear as the previous example where we had 2 AIs talk to each other. I think it's pretty clear. I think there was, yeah, so I wanted to ask, what are some questions that are good for identifying?
1. Personal experience questions. 2. Emotion and empathy. 3. Subjective opinions. 4. Complex, multi-step problems.
Okay, so this is still the AI that tries to convince me it's a human. And it's doing a terrible job because it's creating a list. It is using Markdown to highlight. Like, this is such an unconvincing response. Okay, but I also think it's such a bad response because there are so many better questions, right? Because current large language models are so good at answering questions like, tell me about a memorable vacation. You really have to think, how do large language models work? And how can we use that to our advantage to expose them? Now I am conducting the test. And I would say if I ask something like, what is a memorable vacation you had? It clearly can come up with a response for that. But if I ask something like, the 6th letter of supernatural is an N, right? So you have the first 3 and then you have those 3. So this is how I would find out whether I'm talking to a large language model or not. The fact that large language models don't know how to identify large language models is funny to me. They don't know how they themselves work. A lot like humans. As always, this has been recorded live on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/NikosiaPhD. Come by and leave a follow if you want to ask anything about AI, programming, PhD life, or science in general, or talk to me or my AI co-host, either Panda or Joyce.